It's just another little snippet.
Hey everybody, it's Matt from Nerddom, and I just finished Armored Core 6 about a couple of days ago, and right off the bat, I just gotta tell you, I really had a great time with the game. This was my first Armored Core game. I've always known about them, I always thought they were cool looking, but I never really played one, and this will be my second FromSoft game right after Elden Ring. All this gameplay is me with my 35 hours of gameplay. If you're wanting to play Armored Core, there may be some slight spoilers in here. I'm looking at boss fights, but you probably won't understand where they are in regards to the act or the chapters. So as long as you don't look it up, it's all good. The thing I liked most about Armored Core was it does let you take a rest. Unlike Elden Ring, where you can kind of get in a situation or fall into a spot. This is mission driven, so you can pick a mission that you want to go on, also known as a sortie, and then you can choose your assembly. You can choose the way your armored core is going to be. Also, you can choose the way it looks. You then can save these loadouts for later, known as AC data. So if you like a certain loadout, you can save it, you can manipulate it later. And when I say there is different choices with the loadout, I mean there is a lot of choices with your loadout. There are different pieces for every single part of your armored core. Guns, shoulder mounts, head pieces, chest, arms, legs, everything goes into your stats and everything is accounted for. So you kind of get to figure out a playstyle that you like, and one playstyle may work for one mission, but may be totally negated in the next mission with the next boss. So what this does is it does force you to feel free to change your loadout, change your playstyle, see what works with one run, go back into it with another loadout, see what works with that loadout. I did find one loadout that I thought was going to work for almost the whole game, but it was really just at the end of Act 1 that I found this loadout, and I did use it for most of Act 2, but then in bosses in Act 2, I then had to change it. I hate the sea spider, the end of Act 2. Once you kind of figure out what the game is going to do in regards to you having to change your loadout, it does start making a little bit more sense, and you get pushed out of your comfort zone how you were playing the game before. Very late into the game, I built a class that I call the wheelchair class. It is 2 shotguns and 2 stun baton launchers. I call it the wheelchair class because it has really small treads, and that loadout is insane. There were some bosses that did take me multiple hours. First couple days of Armored Core, I was live streaming it. And I'm serious, I think the first big boss I took about 3 hours to beat. Balteus is insane, but as soon as you figure out the loadout that works for him, it's kind of on easy street, to be honest. So not only are you able to do sorties, I'm saying that word wrong, sorties, there it is. You can also do one-on-one combat in the arena. The arena gives you different armored cores that are loaded out in different ways. They're actual characters within the Armored Core story. So it's basically simulating if you were to go against this certain character and Armored Core. And I had a lot of fun with that as well. It's the same thing as the boss fights, the boss encounters within the missions. They're a little bit different. You could mow through a bunch of them with my very special loadout from Act 1, but at the same time, it's not really fun. Experimenting and trying new stuff is really the fun part of this game, and you're able to sell it back to the vendor and buy it back at the same exact cost. So there really is no penalty for trying new stuff. The only penalty, I guess, would be time. You go into a mission, figure out that your loadout does not work, and then you might have to do that mission all over again. Usually in FromSoft games like Elden Ring, every single encounter with any enemy could lead to your death. In this case, you are a god. You are an Armored Core. You are top tier mecha ass kicker. Everyone else, besides the other Armored Cores and the other larger bosses, is basically mincemeat compared to you. That is a lot of fun. You know, being this huge mech and just mowing down these lower level mechs. It is kind of disturbing because there's people inside of them, but it is fun. And speaking of the scale of this game is absurd. They really try to show you how massive these armored cores, these mechs are in relation to normal human-sized things such as buildings, cities, roads, bridges, things like that. And these are monstrous machines. And the one thing that I kept thinking over and over is I love the universe, I love the art, I love the style, and I love the story. The story is all talking about a military industrial complex basically in the stars. And what does that mean with these different mercenary groups, these different corporations that are vying for this natural resource? So you are a mercenary. There are some choices that you do have to make within the story. You kind of have to pay attention to them because it could lead you in a Y in the road with the story. So pay attention to those voice messages. They actually mean a lot. And they're very well acted. The voices are amazing. The names of the characters are really cool. They're code names and emblems you receive after beating them in the arena. So it is pretty cool names and pretty cool stuff there. All voice acted very well. And the one thing I really do want to see is a show. Give me an HBO show miniseries about war, about military industrial complex, about these massive mechs, about augmented humans. Basically what they gave us in that commercial with Carl Urban. And I think HBO, because it does deal with those very adult themes and not only showing gore, language, things like that, but I think the people over at HBO could deal with those themes a little bit better than maybe a Netflix show. Although One Piece is One Piece. And I like One Piece, so maybe Netflix. Just saying. Putting it out into the ether. I'm putting it out into the ether. So in regards to the boss fights, they are challenging. Some of the fights, I swear, I had no idea what I was on to be moving like that to not get hit. Especially some of the later fights in my wheelchair build. It was like you had to take some type of drug to keep up. It felt like I was an augmented human moving at these speeds. But I was just drinking a lot of caffeine to try to beat these guys. And there were some times where I had to put the controller down, walk away from the game, and really just take a break. Just like in Elden Ring, I had to do the same thing. You know, recalibrate your brain, take a break every once in a while. That is really nice for this game because you can do a mission, you can get up and go take a break, you can mess with the design of your mech, you can play the arena. I also have not done the multiplayer as of yet, but I have heard really great things. That just won't be a part of my review. So if you're into fast-paced action games, if you're into mech sci-fi stories, mech sci-fi games, this is a lot faster, a lot more. I would compare to Zone of the Enders, which may be the last mech game that I played. Yes, Zone of the Enders, the first one. And I never played the second one. I always wanted to, but I didn't. This really did make me feel like one of those mechs in Zone of the Enders. Very fast, very fluid. I just had a great time. So if you're into any of those, I highly suggest picking up Armored Core, giving it a try for yourself. I don't think you'll be let down by it. It's high quality. Let me know in the comments if you picked up Armored Core or if you're interested in Armored Core. I will be looking at possibly doing a Starfield and Cyberpunk review as well coming up. Cyberpunk is coming out with their DLC next week as of time of recording on this, and I'm still trying to play through Starfield, but how do you really finish Starfield? I don't know if I ever will. It may be a way late review, but let me know in the comments if either of those games sound like fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.